Welcome to Between the Shelves, your premier Save a Library podcast. I am your host Alex, and this week I'm joined by Patron Services Extraordinaire Sean. Welcome, Sean.
What's going on?
So, if you know anything about our podcast, if Sean and I are on the podcast alone together, you know we're talking about movies.
Always.
And that is exactly what we're doing today. We are going to be discussing the newly released New York Times Top 100 Films of the 21st Century list. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, if you're listening to this podcast and you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, give us 5 stars, all that jazz. Just want to get that out of the way because we want to keep this going. All right. Now, New York Times just released this list. I have a lot of thoughts on it. Sean, I'm sure you have some opinions too. I think we're going to get into this and talk about it in depth. But first, I want to just talk about how this list was compiled, because I think it's actually pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, first, before that, I should mention, even if you're not a New York Times subscriber, if you Google search New York Times Top 100 Films of the 21st Century list, the second result or the third result is going to be an IMDb list. So you can see the list there, even if you're not a New York Times subscriber. I definitely recommend, checking this out. It will make a lot more sense as you're listening to our conversation about it. But you can, even if you're not a New York Times subscriber, you can check out the list. But if you are a New York Times subscriber, or if you come into the library and use our subscription to read the list, it is interesting. They do talk about each film and why it was chosen, and a little bit about the film itself, and they have a whole article on how the list was created and all that stuff. So it is, if you want some more, you can check that out too. So let's talk about how this list was compiled. So the culture editors of the New York Times did not create this list themselves. What they did is they polled over 500 directors, actors, and, quote, other notable names in Hollywood and around the world, and asked them to list their 10 favorite films of the 21st century, the last 25 years. So what they did is they collected all of those films from, again, over 500 film creators, and then they ranked those by the number of, movies that had votes. Mm-hmm. And then what they did is they invited those creators to take a short, I'm going to call it a quiz, where basically it pitted 2 random movies from that huge list of movies against one another, and you had to choose. It was a binary choice. Which one is better?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
it's kind of like a bracket for sports.
I guess so.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
So they worked with, I forget what the name of there's a whole New York Times statistics team that does this sort of stuff. So this whole process took about 5 months.
Oh my God.
From gathering all of these polls, compiling this huge list, and then narrowing that list down to 100 films based on this algorithm that they had, this ranking algorithm. So yeah, it basically boiled it down to a final 100. So it took, I think, about 3 months to gather that master list, and then 2 months of running the calculations and the algorithm to get that huge list down to 100.
That's crazy.
So that is how this list was compiled. So I thought it was really interesting. They go into it a lot more in depth in the New York Times article. But
because they had 5,000 movies.
Was that
Well, yeah. If you have 500 people listing top 10 movies.
Well, there's duplicates, but yeah.
No, but I'm saying around 5,000 movies. That's insane.
Right.
But have there even been 5,000 movies since?
I'm sure there has. I'm sure there have. There seems like there's 100 movies released every week.
Yeah.
So that is how this list was created. It was not just the snobby, film critics listing their favorite movies.
That's what I thought it was going to be, and I was like, oh Jesus, here we go. Yeah.
Which, we can get into it now, but I was really not surprised with this list, but I thought this list was very fairly done. I can't really think of a better way to go about doing it. I don't know. No, what are your thoughts on how the list was created?
I was surprised that they had as many blockbustery type movies that they did. They have Black Panther and The Dark Knight and Bridesmaids and Whiplash, all these really popular trendy movies with Gen Z audiences. I didn't really expect that. I just thought it was, like you said, it was going to be more snobby, real film type movies.
Right. I think if it was done by just the editors picking their favorite movies, it would be a very different list. But they kind of did, it was a little bit of a crowdsourcing effort. So I think more popular films are naturally going to rise to the top of the list. So I think this list does. That's why I think this list is. I'm not too upset with it because I think these top 100 films are a pretty good representation of what the general country or world would think are like, the standout movies.
Yeah. I mean, there are some where I'm like, I don't know if that should be that high or that low.
Believe me, we'll get into that later in the episode.
But overall, I feel like it's pretty fair. Like, I've seen, what did I email you? I think I've seen like 37 of them, which I was like, honestly, I was expecting to maybe have seen like 10 of them. And I'm like, I've seen this. I'm actually seeing Black Swan tomorrow night.
Oh, excellent. Is it being re-released in theaters?
In IMAX, yeah. So I'm going. I've never seen it before. It's on the list. It's around, I think it's like around like the 70.
It's high. I think it's even higher than that.
Oh.
I want to say it's in like the 30s or something.
I know it's one of your favorite movies ever. It's always like as I'm like scrolling through this, I'm like, I've always been meaning to watch this. Always been meaning to. And I'm like, it's just movies that I've never seen, but I'm like, I've always wanted to. So I feel like I have to kind of get back into it and like get like on the grind. But I'm seeing that tomorrow, so I'm hyped. Hopefully it's good.
I think you'll like it. It's a very, very good thriller.
It's like one of your favorite movies, right?
I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, it's a great movie. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it on the list right now. But anyways,
Portman's great. So
yeah, it's her best performance in my opinion. Yeah, I hope you like that movie. But I'm actually surprised you'd only seen 30 of these movies because this list seems to trend a little bit more into like blockbustery popular films. 37.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bite my tongue this episode and really try not to say what I want to say. Like,
honestly, go for it.
Just say it now at the top of the episode and not say it again for the rest of the episode. But how have you not seen some of these movies? Like when I was going through my stats, I'm like, how have you not seen like, I don't know. There's so many examples, like The Departed. Like
I've seen that. That's one of my favorite movies.
Whatever. Like,
that's what like made me want to go to film school. Was that
bad example? But like, there's tons of movies where I was shocked that you hadn't seen. Not because I think they're like one of the best movies ever made, but like movies that I think would like perfectly align with your interests.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. Like, I'm like looking here. Like,
and the other thing, it's like really
Boyhood. I've never seen.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah, I think you'd like Her actually. But what is also funny is we talked about doing this episode a couple of weeks ago, and since we've booked doing this episode today, you have not watched a single one of the movies from this list.
I haven't been in like a movie mood. I don't know if anyone else gets like this where it's like you get in a mood to either watch just TV or just movies. So I've been like watching the show and it's been really good. So it's like any free time I have, I kind of just want to watch the show. I'm just haven't been in like a movie mood, but like it kind of like goes in spurts. Like I feel like once like the fall comes and everyone's like inside more, like this time of year I usually don't because I'm usually out doing stuff. Because
I get like that.
It's so warm out and it's always so cold here. So I'm like I want to be outside while I can. Because like I'm gonna be inside for so long, so I feel like once like October hits, I'll be grinding that out.
Yeah, I get it. It's hard to like bunker down in the summer.
In the summer when it's nice out,
exactly.
It's like people
I get that.
are out, so it's
and
like
you do see a lot of movies, but the movies you're seeing in the summer are you're going to the theater.
Yeah, like I'm seeing Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts and Superman and all like the bigger kind of movies.
And a lot of these movies on this list, admittedly, are kind of heavy. In movies you need to pay 100% attention to while you're watching, stuff like that. So I understand that.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
So when this list came out, I was going through it, and I had seen, I think, 92 of them.
Of course.
Because I'm, that's just what I do. And this is like these movies are, in my wheelhouse.
What have you not seen?
So the 8 that I had not seen, I have now seen. So once this list came, I've seen them all now. I made it a point to watch all of them after the list came out.
Well, I guess if you only have 8 to watch, then it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, and the ones I had not seen, with the exception of Old Boy, the great Korean action thriller film, which had been on my list for years to watch. With the exception of that one, which I really enjoyed, that's number 43 on the list. The other 7, I probably could have gone my whole life without seeing and not really missed that much.
I'm actually going to go back on what I said because I was not honest. Little Miss Sunshine I did just watch recently. because it was on this list.
All right.
So I watched it with my friends last month, and God, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible movie.
I love.
Again, a movie I've always been meaning to see for like years and years. And I was like, me and my friends wanted something like kind of easy, kind of light, and we threw it on, and we were all dying.
I think I'm due for a rewatch of that. Little Miss Sunshine's number 63 on the list. I re-ranked these. Like I published my own letterbox list where I re-ranked the 100.
Ooh.
I have Little Miss Sunshine way higher, like in the 20s.
I kind of agree with that. Having it, I know like some of the movies, like even like kind of going like all over the place here, but The Dark Knight is at number 28. Now I am like a huge Dark Knight fan. I think it's one of the best superhero movies ever made. I think it kind of like reignited the passion for them and the want for them. That being at 28 to me is crazy.
It shouldn't be on the top 100 in my opinion. But
I think it should be there. I just think I was like maybe in like the 80s.
Yeah, so you know what's interesting about looking at this list on IMDb is it lists next to their star rating how many people have rated it, and I don't see any film that has more views than The Dark Knight on this list.
I don't see that on mine.
Like by a wide margin. It has like 3.1 million ratings on,
I see that
on IMDb.
Maybe Black Panther is probably like a close second because that's a popular movie.
Right.
Like that, again, like superhero movie.
But comparing that to...
But I agree with that being on here.
Comparing that to the movie that's ranked number 1 on this list, which we haven't mentioned yet, Parasite, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite, it only has 1 million ratings. So I
feel like it's not new, but it's only been out for 6 years, whereas The Dark Knight's been out for almost 20 years.
That's true.
And it's Batman. It's like, I feel like it's hard to go up against like a huge franchise name like that. Because people are automatically going to be drawn to that more, you know?
That brings up an interesting thing, and this is something that I was thinking while I was browsing this list. I was a little surprised that there wasn't more of a recency bias. I was expecting there to be movies in the last 5 years or so.
You really
more
weren't.
Of them. There weren't. It was almost the opposite. There's almost like a favoritism to movies that, seemed more prestigious or have kind of held up longer, which I think I was pleasantly surprised with.
Yeah,
I liked seeing, movies that that are still being watched and talked about being on this list, as opposed to like, I'm trying to, Anora, for instance, winning Best Picture last year. It's fresh in everyone's mind. You'd think it might have cracked this list, but it didn't. And in fact, it's Sean Baker, the writer-director of Anora, that won Best Picture. He won 3 Academy Awards for it. He has another film on this list, pretty high up. My favorite, The Florida
number
Project.
74, I see it right here.
Which I definitely would bump higher than in the 70s. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. There's a lot of really interesting films on this list. But we'll save that for a second. So I have a couple of some quick facts here that I want to spit out. See if you can get any of these. So, do you know which director has the most films on this list?
Martin Scorsese.
No, he only has 2 on this list, actually. Departed and
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan has 5 films on this list.
Of course he does, because he's the GOAT.
I hard disagree with that.
That's a crazy take.
But I think he's in that perfect center of a Venn diagram of popularity and critical acclaim.
I mean, name me one movie he's made that hasn't been great.
I mean, almost all of them.
Wow.
I think his best film is probably
Interstellar?
No, that's maybe his worst.
Oh my god, I just
Oppenheimer was pretty good.
Personally.
Inception was maybe his best. Memento is good. I don't know. He's not for me. I think he overwrites, and it's just
Interstellar.
It's not really my thing.
That's the best, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Well,
that's crazy.
That's where we differ.
Yeah.
So, of this 100 films, only 13 of the films were directed by women, which I thought was, unfortunately, that seems
accurate. It sucks, but
yeah,
hopefully,
I'd like it to be higher, of course.
Hopefully, if they do this again in 2050 or something, there'll be more.
Yeah,
you would hope. Very
few comedies on this list, and very few documentaries. Documentaries, I'm not surprised about. I was happy to see that there were any documentaries on the
Well, yeah, because
list.
I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't categorize that as a film. Like it's a documentary film. It's not like a narrative. I mean, it is a narrative because you're trying to
I'm
show a
happy they
certain
included
narrative.
documentaries.
But I feel like it's just not the same thing as like creating your own film. I don't know.
Well, in my eyes, a good documentary does, tell a riveting story,
Oh no,
and
for sure.
oftentimes, fact is stranger than fiction. So I think a good documentary is gripping and makes you, rethink what is possible in the world.
Hmm.
For instance, The Act of Killing, which is on this list, number 82, is, in my opinion, one of the best films ever made. It's a 5-star documentary for me. If I had to make my own top 100 films of all time list, that would certainly be on it for me. It is just breathtaking.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never heard of that, but reading about it right now looks really interesting.
Now,
Huh.
just a few slots down from that, number 88, The Gleaners and I by Agnes Varda. This was like, what? I,
I've never heard of
I
this.
had never even heard of this movie, and to see it number 88 on the top 100 films of the century, I was like, this is something.
That's crazy.
But I thought it was, I'm like, if this was a list made by the editors of New York Times and they were just picking like some art house film that they like to push up on the list, I'd say, okay, that's how that got on this list. But that's not how this list was made. So I don't know. Like, I know
Yeah.
Agnes Varda has like 100 films. Like, she's extremely prolific. So why was this one of all? You'd think like the votes would have gotten split amongst all of her films and then diluted
Yeah.
the chances of any of them, making it on this list. But I
Interesting.
don't know. And I saw this movie obviously before, when I was making my own ranking, and it's number 100 for me. It's the bottom of the
Really?
list. It did not. It's a
Wow.
good documentary, but it's not nothing
It's not great.
spectacular.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. I honestly, like, I probably will never watch it.
And the fact that it's ranked higher than like Grizzly Man, which is, a good documentary. It's not fantastic. It's a very good documentary, but Grizzly Man is like a movie that I watched in high school. Like, it's in school. I mean, like, this is like a movie
What
that
number
has
is
like
that
it's
at?
number 98. This is a movie that I would think had a wider reach, but for whatever, the algorithm just
Why do I not know what
didn't
this
have
is?
it down.
I've never heard of that either. It sounds interesting though. Is that a documentary also?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely worth a watch.
Interesting. No, for sure. I'm just gonna add all these to my list to watch, but my watch list on Letterboxd is currently at 725 things. So the likelihood of me watching any of these
That's way too much,
in the
man.
near
You gotta
future.
prune that back a little bit.
Yeah, I've had it since I was like 20, so it's been a while. I haven't really gone through it. I'm looking at your list though now. I'm not surprised. You have Boyhood ranked as the last one actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't like Boyhood. I think Boyhood was
I've never
interesting.
seen
I
it.
think Boyhood is remembered and will be remembered as a novelty film because like the way it was filmed, going over the lifespan of like one actor's
Yeah, which is
life,
cool.
which is interesting, and but as a film, take that part out of it.
Yeah.
It's just any other.
I don't know anything.
movie.
I haven't seen it, so but I'm just like looking briefly here. I feel like your last like 50 or 40 films will probably be my first 40. Like in your top 20, I think I see like literally maybe No Country for Old Men, which I haven't even seen, but I know that it's great.
That's what I was thinking of when I said The Departed earlier. The No Country for Old Men is the movie I was shocked you hadn't
Yeah,
seen.
that when I went to college, it was like a big thing. Like everyone loved that movie and they quoted it all the time. And they were like, I was like one of the only people that hadn't seen it, and I was just like, I know what it is. Like I know it's really popular. I just have not got around to watching it. Again, I feel like I have to be in the mood for something like intense and brooding, and like when
It's heavy.
like I tried to watch There Will Be Blood recently with my friends, and I liked it a little bit more than they did. We all stopped watching it at like an hour in, but then I went home and I continued watching it. I think I have like maybe 30 minutes left. It's okay.
It's a good last 30 minutes, I will say.
It's okay. There's not a whole lot happening. The acting is outstanding. My God. The acting's great. And like the set design and like how it's shot is very cool. Like it makes you feel like you're in the minds with everyone. But I wasn't like, this is the big movie everyone loves. I kind of felt like
Both of those movies are 5-star movies for me.
No Country for Old Men. I have no comment, but There Will Be Blood for me is probably looking like a 2.5.
Yikes.
Yikes
Well,
is right.
okay, so no, I'm gonna save it for the end. I have a game that I've made,
Oh, no.
but I'm gonna save it for the end of the episode, and it has to do with how we rate movies differently. That's a little
God.
little tease. Okay, so I think I've covered all of my major notes here.
You want to talk about like what we would have included if it was like your list?
Yeah,
So, like
some snubs.
Some snubs, yeah. Do you want to go back and forth?
I mean, I have a list of like 12 movies that I think probably should be on this list.
Do you want to just
I'll just
shoot them
rattle
off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think The Pianist with Adrian Brody.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that wasn't on the list. I think it was a movie that was huge when it came out. It won a bunch of Oscars, and I think it's just not in the conversation anymore. I think people maybe have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So but I think it's a movie that is well deserving to be on this list. What do you got?
Okay. My first one is A Star Is Born by Bradley Cooper.
I knew you'd say that.
It's my favorite movie ever. I've seen it an unhealthy amount of times. I truly think it is just a flawless movie. I'm just surprised that wasn't on there because I feel like a lot of people in that world would appreciate it and probably find a lot of things in common with it. So I feel like it kind of touches on like stardom and like how you deal with it and how you deal with like the public looking at you and like what does a star mean to you and like kind of all that stuff. I feel like people in Hollywood would understand how that feels.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it snuck its way onto this list.
Yeah.
You like it obviously a lot more than I do, and that's all I'll say about it. Some other movies I think should have been probably listed on this. The Shape of Water won Best Picture, one of my favorite movies. Dune, I think, should have been included over Arrival. I like Dune more than Arrival.
Yeah.
I like
totally
Arrival's
agree.
fine, but I think Dune is a better film
I
accomplishment.
think Dune's an insane movie.
Oh, I can't. Okay, here we go. Here's one I think we can both agree on. Challengers.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, Challengers, totally.
Almodovar, that's his name? Or am I mixing him up with
Guadagnino? Luca Guadagnino.
Guadagnino. He has another movie on this list. I think.
Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name.
Which I was very surprised at.
I'm not. That's a great movie. I think that is deserving to be on this list.
I feel like it's just like, it's very like romanticized, but it's like kind of disgusting. Like, I don't know if that's just me.
Well,
it's like, isn't he like 40 years old?
Well, that's like
and Timothy
part
Chalamet is
of the
like
story.
17.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's a little. The movie itself like looks pretty, and like it's nice to watch, but like,
I don't know.
It's fine. It's good.
I liked it a lot.
That tracks.
Speaking of comedies, I think Shaun of the Dead might have been a little more deserving than 2004.
Oh, why am I thinking of something else?
If we're giving some love to comedies, which get the short shrift here, there's a lot of like dark comedies on this list, but no like hard comedies. I think Shaun of the Dead maybe.
I have 2 comedies in mind. Actually, I have like 4. So I have my first one would probably be Mean Girls.
When did that come out?
2004.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
On like Reddit and stuff, like where's Mean Girls, but
Dodgeball, which is a personal favorite of mine. Not surprised.
If Dodgeball was on this list would have been thrown in the garbage.
But
I'm sorry.
One of the best movies ever made. The Hangover, 2009. I feel like that's such a popular comedy movie. I'm surprised that isn't on there. And like maybe 21 Jump Street. I thought that was very funny, but I feel like it's kind of like goofy funny.
So the comedies that are on this list are Superbad, Anchorman,
shocking,
Bridesmaids, and I had one other one. What am I thinking of? Best in Show.
That movie's good. And Little Miss Sunshine. It's like a comedy.
That's a dark comedy. I wouldn't really slot it into hard comedy, but Best in Show for sure deserves a spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bridesmaids is in the top 100 film.
No, I kind of agree with you.
I like what it did. I liked it as a movie, but we're talking about the top 100 films of the century.
I agree with Superbad as well. I feel like that's not.
Superbad had a huge impact when it came out.
Yeah,
I think it bred some life back into the comedy genre, but it doesn't.
No, I feel like
we're talking about the top 100 films. No, Anchorman. I mean, God, it's one of the most quotable movies of all time. It's hard to not it's hard to argue that it doesn't deserve some spot on this list
Yeah.
just for its longevity, its lifespan.
Great.
But
It's such a good movie.
God, when you like have, it's literally 2 spots above Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, where you're like, come on, give me a break.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings, any of them. I know.
This is one of the movies I'm biting my tongue on.
I know. Between you and other people that have worked here, I know. It's like one of those movies I should see. I should see all of them. Will I ever? I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe if you like, and I'm not wishing this on you, but if you like break your leg or something and you're bedridden,
Jesus.
I might break your leg.
I already
just so
had-
you'll have to watch this
Last
movie.
year I had a horrible medical trauma, as you know, and that's why I watched like a film a day for like 4 months.
Another genre that is underrepresented, I think, on this list, or maybe not underrepresented, but is notable in a lack of presence, is horror movies. I think the only one I am seeing is Get Out, which I would barely consider a horror movie. More of a thriller than a horror movie. But I was expecting to see Hereditary make its way onto this list.
That movie. I'm assuming you love that movie.
I love that movie. It's the
course
best
you do.
horror movie made in the last 25 years, and it should be. Oh, Let the Right One In. That is a great film. That is on this list. So there's two horror movies. I think Hereditary is better than both of those, and should be on this list.
Maybe the Conjuring, like that had a huge impact.
The Conjuring is
Spawned
not
a giant franchise.
Yeah. Again, I think you're talking about popularity versus like
The true film.
right, true film. Hashtag true film.
Hashtag true film.
Some other movies that I think if the recency bias that I was talking about earlier did play more of an effect, I think some of these movies I'm about to mention might have snuck onto this list. But challengers, I already said. The Brutalist that came out last year. I'm Still Here that came out last year. Especially if the people that were polling were not Americans. I think that I'm Still Here did very well overseas. Nickel Boys that came out last year, and The Holdovers from 2023.
I thought of that movie too. I was really shocked that wasn't on there.
I thought that could have snuck its way onto
Yeah.
maybe like somewhere in the 80s or 90s, like
Yeah.
just snuck its way in. Yeah, I think that's Banshees of Inisherin too. I think that could have snuck its way on. I know it's a pretty divisive movie, but I feel like the people they were polling, I would not have been shocked if it also made its way onto the list.
Yeah.
I personally love that movie. I think it's great performances, and I think if they were polling actors only, I think it might have worked its way on there, but I don't know. In Bruges, another Colin Farrell film that should have made its way on there. It's the same exact cast as Banshees of Inisherin. Same director too.
Oh wow.
And Marie Antoinette, that was the last movie I had. Have you seen that? I think you might like that too.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't know what that. I mean, I know the name. I just don't know anything about it.
I think those are like the movies that I think
Should have been on there.
could have been on there, and would have been deserving. Obviously, you know me. I like kind of art housey movies. I could have made a list of 50 movies that I think should have been on this list, but I know wouldn't have ever made it because they would have just been too niche. But those are the movies that I think were popular enough that could have made it on this list and maybe deserved it more than some of the ones I had ranked on the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
So are there any, I mean, we don't have to turn this into a bashing fest, but do you think there are any movies that just should not have been, that you have seen, should not have been on this list, or movies that you think were ranked way too low or too high?
I think Gravity should not have been on there.
I agree.
I think it's honest to God, I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. That's like 90 minutes of my life I will never get back. I saw it in the theaters in 3D, when I was like 13, 12 years old, however old I was. And I was just like, it's screaming in space for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks very real, and it looks good, but like, it's not really an interesting movie.
I agree.
Did not understand that at all.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I agree with you, Sean.
Wow.
Gravity was a solid 6 out of 10 for me, and
that's ridiculously high.
But Alfonso Cuarón is a fantastic director, and he has 4 films on this list. That is the weakest of them by far.
Oh, for sure. I think
Children of Men, Y Tu Mama Tambien, and Roma are the other films on the list.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, I think Bridesmaids shouldn't have been on there.
Yeah, Bridesmaids is a good movie, but I don't see it on this list.
I think Spotlight should have been higher up. I think it was in like the 70s or the 60s.
I just saw it. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I love that movie, and I feel like that is a very well made movie. Again, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Just would have assumed that would have been a little bit higher.
After Sun. What do you think about After Sun?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I thought it was another like, this is fine.
It was just boring.
I was shocked to see it on this list, but I know
I'm not, because people love that movie so much. I think it's just like they're obsessed with it. I don't know why, because like I really like, because it's Paul Mescal, right?
Yeah.
I really like him, and I think I watched it this year with my mom or my friends or something, and I was just like, the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like all over. Like, I understand like that was like kind of like what they're going for. It's a very like natural look into like father and daughter on their vacation, and like she's like about to go through puberty or something. It's kind of like a coming of age.
It's like half a coming of age story, and then it's like flashbacks to her as or flash forwards, I guess, to her as an adult, like reflecting back on this time, and like,
I'm just
and
like
Paul Mescal's like dealing with depression, and I like the screenplay, I guess, more than the movie. I just didn't like the direction, and it was just kind of nebulous to me. Kind of just didn't do it.
I agree with you. Wow, 2 movies in a row.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us doing things.
So here's some movies I thought were just ranked way too high, and I think you might push back on a couple of these. I think Lady Bird is a fine movie. Shouldn't have been on this list. It was 39 on the list.
I think
that's crazy.
I think it's a great movie, but I agree with you.
Arrival, already mentioned. Arrival was 29. Give me a break. Arrival shouldn't even have cracked the top 50. Anatomy of a Fall, another good movie, but it was 26.
I think, like you were saying earlier with the recency bias, that kind of makes sense because that only came out in 2023.
Yeah. Already mentioned Bridesmaids, still too high. Boyhood, it was 23.
That's crazy.
It shouldn't even be.
But I feel like since you hate it, or not hate it, but you're so like mad on it, I'll probably think it's amazing and be like, yeah, it should be at that rank.
Maybe. I don't know. I doubt you'll ever see it though. Brokeback Mountain, a great movie. It was 17. Granted, it did have a historical importance in film history, but I think 17 is too high. I think I had it around like 50 or so. Okay, now here's where it's going to be controversial, and I think you've seen these 2 movies, and I want to hear your opinions. Mad Max: Fury Road.
Haven't seen it.
Number 11.
No, I was shocked by that. Yeah.
Now, Mad Max: Fury Road is one of the better action movies made this century.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely not the 11th best movie made.
Yeah, I agree.
Nowhere near 11. It is maybe 90.
I mean, just from
I know it's a lot of people's like favorite movie.
Just from the trailer alone, I had no interest in seeing it. I thought it looked just like a hot mess. I just have no interest.
I honestly think you would like it. It's a great action movie.
But the new one looked terrible too.
The new one is terrible.
Yeah.
But 11, give me a break. Now here's the other one that's even more controversial. Get Out. Number 8.
Yeah, it's like really high.
Have you seen Get Out?
Oh yeah, multiple
I'm sure
times.
You have.
I love it, but it's like, it's a movie that I've seen like twice, and I don't really think about it like long term. Like, I feel like if a movie like kind of stays with you and you like find yourself like thinking about it and talking about it with friends and family, like I feel like that is like a big tell to show you like how impactful it was.
Yeah.
For that, like it's a great movie. I think, it's so well made, and it kind of blew up out of nowhere because I don't think anyone expected a Jordan Peele movie to be as like serious and dark as it was, and to touch on the topics that it did. And it's great, but I would put it maybe in like 60s, 70s.
I think that's about where I had it too.
Like 8 is crazy.
I think Get Out is a great movie. I think if it was like an A24 movie, it would be right at home. But I think a lot of what it has going for it is exactly what you said. It just defied expectations.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it a top 10
movie.
Film of the century. It's a great thriller. It has interesting themes going with it.
Crazy twists.
But I think, that's Number 8 is...
Look at you being shocked because you thought I was gonna clap back
I'm ready
at
for
your
it. I had it
your
at
hot
60,
takes.
65 on my list.
Yeah, sounds about
I
right.
think it absolutely deserves a place on this list.
How much time did it take you to make your own list? I'm really like between putting the movies on the list and then like dragging them around.
Well, that was actually the next topic that I was going to cover. So well done, Sean. You're a great co-host.
Wow, look at me.
So I wanted to just talk a little bit with you about lists in general and ranking art. I know it's like a lot of people find it very distasteful. I think it's a nice thought exercise.
Yeah.
I think I totally admit ranking art, which is a subjective thing, is, at its root impossible to do and whatever. But I think I like to do it. I do it all the time. You follow me on Letterboxd. You see I make lists all the time.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a nice, fun thought exercise. It gets me to rethink about movies and contextualize them and think more deeply about them. So I personally like this kind of stuff.
I mean, honestly, I kind of just do it like for myself, like just to kind of like look and see. Like I've been doing like since 2023, like all the movies that came out that year that I saw. So like I'll go back and be like, oh, in 2023, I saw, 40 movies that came out in that year. And my number one movie was, Barbie or like whatever it was. I kind of just do it more for me. Like I don't really care like what people think of my opinion of a movie. I'm just kind of like, I think it's cool. I understand like people not liking it and thinking that it's like in poor taste or like bad judgment. Like I get that. But also like, if you're going to spend that much time caring about someone's ranked list of movies, like maybe put your attention onto something else that like actually matters.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not bothering anyone. It's not hurting anyone. Unless you're like going online and you're like, review bombing a movie and saying that it's like the worst thing ever made and that everyone in it sucks. Like that's horrible.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure some people do.
And I would argue you do occasionally.
Yeah, that's a crazy take. I don't think I really.
I mean, you've given half a star to some movies.
Yeah, but I don't say in it, oh, so and so in this sucked. I'm not that mean.
Fair.
Because it's
like
they have a phone too. They're gonna go online. They're gonna read it. So I feel like some people take it too far and they like act like they like were in the movie or they know everyone that made it. And it's just like, I think also too, just like having the bit of experience I do like working on movies and on set, it's like seeing how much it takes to just shoot like part of a scene is insane. Like how many hours it takes. So it's like I'm kind of like more inclined to like give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes.
Yeah. We could do, and maybe we should do a whole episode and maybe broaden it to more than just you and I about rating systems in general, not ranking and lists, but like, we could expand it to Goodreads and things like that about like how do you rate a book or a movie or something. I think that's rich mind to something to mind.
A rich mind.
But you asked me about how I went about making re-ranking.
How long did that take you?
Not that long, honestly. So what I did is from a starting point, I rate all my movies. So, having like 4 or 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever, like that helps put it in tiers at least as a starting point. And then, I probably spend a couple of days like thinking about it and adjusting my list. And, I could have just been reordering this list forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, of course.
The same thing, like I do an end of the year list every year and I always move stuff around until the absolute last minute. And I'm like, the nice thing about the end of the year list is like, I have to publish it before the Oscars. So like I have like an end date. I can't just keep.
There is an actual
people
law.
Are expecting
There's
it.
a law in place and you have to publish it because people will be at the library with signs.
But that's a nice clear cutoff point. You know what I mean?
No,
so like I can't, because otherwise I would just be readjusting it forever.
For sure. Yeah.
So at least when we set a date to record this podcast, I had like a
thing in mind.
I had a date in mind where I was gonna like, okay, this is like where I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some adjustment that goes. Some of these movies are some of my favorite movies of all time. So obviously they go way at the top.
Mm-hmm.
It gets harder when you get down into like the 60s, 70s, and below, where you're like, all these movies are fine. It's like if something's like 68 compared to 72, like
does that really matter? To me?
It doesn't really matter to me. But it's hard down to the bottom, and it's also really hard at the top, where like the top 5 or something. That order. I did put a lot of thought into. Probably as
Sure.
much time in my doing my top 10 as I did my bottom 40.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah. But I guess, the things I look for in a film are originality is a big one. And then just execution of the original, like the intent of the film.
Yeah.
So that encompasses everything from directing to acting and everything, like how well was
Yeah.
it? How well did it pull off the trick?
Yeah.
Did it sell me?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we can get more into that, I guess, when and if we do that
Yeah, for
rating
sure.
episode, but that's kind of how I went about it.
I feel like it depends too, like on the mood you're in.
Totally.
It's like, oh, if I'm in like a really intense mood, like I may think that There Will Be Blood is a lot better than Bridesmaids. I don't know. And then if you're in a mood where all you want to do is laugh, it's like you think that that's a lot, So it's all kind of just like, I feel like it just depends on. And I'm curious too, like when everyone got polled, like what was going on in the world, like what were they watching, like what was it, like what was their mindset going into it? Like, were they in like a crappy mood? So they were watching a lot of comedies to kind of like bring themselves, who knows? So it's all open to like interpretation and subject to scrutiny, which is the world that we're in.
All right. I think we're covering a lot of my notes. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is the New York Times also did a reader poll to the top films of the century. And that list is actually 500 films. So
I think I did see that.
That was open to all readers. And one thing that I was really surprised reading the reader list, which you can find online, just Google search it. I'm sure there's an IMDb list you can see without a New York Times subscription. The thing that surprised me is how similar they were, actually.
What's the number one film?
Parasite.
Still?
Yep. The top 10, eight of the top 10 films are identical in both lists.
That's crazy.
Which is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
There are a lot of movies on the top 100 on the readers list that are not on this list.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read some of those off to you, and maybe this might be of interest. La La Land, not on the critics or not on the New York Times list. It's on the readers list. Return of the King and Two Towers, also Lord of the Rings. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Pride and Prejudice. Sinners, recency bias. Django Unchained, Little Women, Hereditary, mentioned that. Blade Runner 2049, Fantastic Mr. Fox, The Handmaiden, The Prestige, Christopher Nolan could have got his 6th movie on the list. Yikes. Mean Girls, you mentioned. Barbie, you mentioned. Perfect Days, which I really like. Dune Part 1 and 2 were both on the Reader Top 100. Top Gun Maverick, one of the worst movies ever.
Oh my God, shut up.
Drive My Car, another good foreign film. Knives Out. A little surprised that wasn't on this list. That's a feel-good movie. Everyone likes that one.
Great movie.
The Incredibles, which we didn't even talk about it. There's like 3 or 4 Pixar movies on this top 100 list.
WALL-E, there's Up, Ratatouille.
I think that's all of them actually. But
I mean, WALL-E being on there is, of course, iconic.
I need to rewatch WALL-E.
Oh,
I have a sneaking suspicion it doesn't hold up quite as well as people think.
I watched it a couple of years ago. I loved it.
Here's what I think. I think
was also a kid when
I think a lot of people only remember the first 20, 30 minutes of WALL-E, and they don't remember the whole second,
thing.
third.
Yeah.
Or,
Great.
Anyways, I would have put Inside Out above all of those.
I haven't seen it.
Anyways, Killers of the Flower Moon, Howl's Moving Castle, The Lighthouse, The Holdovers I mentioned, Midsummer, and Avengers Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the lack of Marvel movies other than Black Panther?
I'm not surprised. Like, I don't agree with it, obviously, but I'm not surprised. Like, I thought maybe like Avengers Infinity War.
A lot of people are saying Infinity War
because I feel like that's the best Marvel movie that they've ever made. Yeah. It's not my favorite one, but I think it's the best one. I mean, Black Panther, I think if there was going to be one Marvel movie that was going to be, it should have been that one.
Yeah.
Because it's just so unbelievably good.
Just eked its way onto the list, number 96. So those are some of the standouts to me, or those are the movies that were on the Reader's Top 100 list that were not on this list. So if any of those movies, so you should definitely check out the Reader's list. I think you might be interested. It's 500 movies too. So
so many more movies.
So
to
many
watch.
more movies to add to your watch list.
Add to my watch list of 700 and something.
All right, I think we've covered it. Do you have any final thoughts on the New York Times Top 100 Films of the Century?
I think we covered it. I'm just dying for this game.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out the whole time. I'm like, what is the game going to be about?
I have one final thought that I forgot to mention, and then we'll get into the game.
Yes.
So, of these 100 films, only one film is a streaming exclusive. Roma.
It's on Apple TV?
It's on Netflix.
Oh. Oh, I'm thinking...
Never released in theaters.
I'm thinking of something else.
Or I guess it was to be Oscar eligible, but never wide release.
Interesting.
So, and then in the New York Times article about this list, they said, in regards to Roma being the only streaming movie, they said the movies that stick with us tend to be those we have a theatrical experience with, which I thought was pretty interesting. I mean, it's
kind of true.
I think, if you're going to a theater, you have a much more visceral experience, which is going to stick out to you and you'll remember it.
I'd be curious if, when I go back through the list, to note how many I saw in the theaters versus at home.
Yeah.
I feel like most of them I probably did see in the theater.
Yeah. Interesting. And then I will also mention, of all of these 100 films, all of them are available at the library.
Love that.
So
all of them.
Start checking them out. Yep.
Wow, that's great.
Even The Gleaners and I is available. There are 2 copies in all of Long Island.
And if we didn't have it, I'm sure you would have.
I would have ordered it.
You would have ordered one, exactly.
That is the hardest one to track down by far. It took me about a couple of weeks to track it down.
Make a little display.
I think I will.
Of Blu-rays and DVDs,
Yeah. So if you want to be like me and be a complete movie sicko, you can start checking off all of these yourself.
Sicko's crazy, but okay.
All right, you ready for a game?
Yes, I'm psyched.
All right, I have 2 questions for you.
Oh, God.
Which movie had the widest gap in ratings for us?
Well, for me and you personally?
Yeah. Which movie had the
what? I thought it was a 5 and you thought it was a 1.
Yes.
Something like that.
I have a list of the top 1, 2, 6.
Oh, God. Maybe Minority Report, Interstellar.
Nope.
Because you hate that movie, apparently. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep, that's number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 with a bullet.
Yeah.
I gave it 4.5 stars. You gave it a half of a star.
Yeah, that tracks.
Wild.
Yeah, I will never understand that movie. But as time has gone on, I've met more and more people that also agree with me. And I feel very validated by that. Because at the time, it was everyone loved this freaking movie. And I was the only one who did not. So
I was a skeptic when it came out, when everyone was gushing about it. But I think if I rewatched, I've only seen it once. I think if on a rewatch, I could see it going down to maybe a 4. It's certainly not deserving.
You were
of
the biggest pusher for that entire movie.
No, I wasn't.
Telling everyone to watch that.
It wasn't even in my top 3 of that year.
Oh, all right. What's your next question?
Okay. Well, do you want to guess any of the other ones?
Oh my God, sorry. I'm scrolling through the list here. The Dark Knight.
Nope.
Arrival.
Nope.
The Departed.
Nope.
Zodiac.
Nope.
The Social Network.
Nope.
I'm surprised by that.
Do you want me to tell you?
Moonlight.
This can't be fun for the listener. Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah.
All right. After Sun and Gravity, I gave them both 3.5. You gave them 0.5s.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems, I gave it a 5. You gave it a 2.
Yeah, God, that movie's irritating.
Past Lives, I gave it a 4.5. You gave it a 1.5.
Yes, they did.
And of course, our regular listeners will know we butted heads on this movie a couple of times.
What movie?
Tar.
Oh, God.
I gave it a 5. You gave it a 1.5. All right. Next question. So we obviously differ a lot more than we agree, but on this list, there are 5 movies that we gave the same score.
What?
Do you want to have any? Do you want to try to guess?
Yeah, my God, I would love to. All right. The Departed.
No.
Black Panther. No, you definitely did not give that a 5 out of 5. Spotlight.
No.
Gone Girl.
No.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yes.
Yes.
We both gave it 4.5 stars.
Whiplash.
Nope.
What'd you give that?
Probably a 4.
That's crazy. I really don't know. I feel like
so there were 5 movies. You got the highest rated one, Little Miss Sunshine.
Okay.
The last 4 we each gave 4 stars. I'll read them off to you. Zodiac.
Okay.
Oppenheimer.
Uh-huh.
Wall-E.
Uh-huh.
And Bridesmaids.
Yeah. Yeah, those to me are like they're great movies, but they're not like incredible, groundbreaking. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I can't believe I
But
just
we both
saw
agreed
this.
on them. We saw eye to eye on
Wow,
those movies.
look at that.
I think that's all we got for this episode, Sean.
Perfect.
Wow, we talked a lot longer than I thought I would.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry about that. You're going to be late for your lunch break, but
That's all
hey,
right.
what's better than talking movies?
Watching them.
That's true.
How funny am I?
Good. You might make it back on the podcast in the future.
Oh wow, really? Blessed.
All right, we did it. Thank you for joining me, Sean, and talking movies. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me,
I look
buddy.
forward to our Oscar episode coming up.
Yeah,
Gosh,
like 6
half a
months.
year, 6 months. Well, you'll be on before then.
Yeah, for sure.
Listeners, thank you for tuning in, and we'll check you next time between the shelves.